the sun, moving from the dark, trying to reach the light. I don't wanna stay here not another night. I've been on the run.
Alright, so now we get to the part where we don't really need to use our eyes, we can just use our ears. As a matter of fact, we're gonna close our eyes and we're just gonna make the volume adjustments with our ears. Alright, so let's take a listen to what we have. Okay, so step one is you have to identify the song that you're working with, right? You have to know what you're working with. Okay, so there's only 10 instruments, meaning that this is a very minimalistic song. It's so simple, right? It's not an orchestral track with 50 different instruments. It's only got 10 instruments, and the fact that we only have 10 instruments means that while mixing, we need to keep it simple, right? There's not a lot that we really need to do. That's the first step, to identify the type of song that we're working with. The second step is, what are the three most important elements, as in the three most important instruments in this beat, and how do those three elements sound together, right? So we want to make sure those three different elements sound good together, and then we'll work away from there. So for me, after listening, I think the most important is the chord. Or the chords, sorry. Alright, this is the most important for me. Now, usually people will tell you that the kick and snare are the most important, but honestly, I think the most important elements really comes down to whoever made the beat. You know, they get to decide which is the most important, right? So for me, it's the piano, the chords, the Rhodes, which it comes during the verse, strangely, right? Well, let's talk about the chorus right here, and the melody right here, the main melody. Alright, that to me, those two are the most important element of the entire beat. Alright, I hear the kick. Oh, and okay. So for the chorus, it's the piano, the melody, the first melody, and the hi-hat. Right? Those. Oh. Really sorry about that. Alright, so those three elements are the most important, and I'm gonna mix according. I'm gonna highlight the chorus, which is the most important part of the entire beat, and I'm gonna start my adjustments from there. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna highlight, I'm gonna put it all down to 0. I'm gonna go to the piano right here, chord. I'm gonna close my eyes, okay? Make sure your eyes are closed, because you need to use your ears for this. I'm gonna just turn up the volume till my ears are satisfied. Oh, and while readjusting, don't be afraid to just go all the way. Like, don't be afraid to do it. Go all the way and then go back down. Try to find which spot in the middle. Alright? Okay, so wait, let me hear. A little bit more. Alright, let me hear the melody here. Not that one. Oh, almost forgot. Go here, 3D stereo shaper, put in mono. How about right clicking, go to LRLL, and turn it on. Now we're in mono. Okay, if you mix in mono and make it sound good in mono, it will always sound good in stereo. So that's why I gotta mix in mono. hi-hats. Okay. So these are the 3 elements during the chorus that are most important to me. Let's go to the verse. Alright, let me hear the roads. Ooh, that's nice, yeah. Okay, now let me mix the other instruments around the main instruments, the main elements, alright? So everything else needs to complement my primary elements. Alright, let's go. Let's go with the kick. Keep in mind, when I say it has to complement, that doesn't mean the volume has to be lower. It just has to mean it needs to be adjusted in a way where it just sounds good relative to the other instruments, right? Let's get the bass in. Yeah, that's nice. I don't want to make my bass too loud. Let's go to the snare. That's one snare. Let's get the other snare in. Let's go to the chorus. Close your eyes. Okay, let's turn off the stereo shaper, the mono effect, so we can go back in stereo. Now let's play around with the stereo field, as in let's focus on panning. Alright? I want this 50% to the right. Matter of fact, no, I want it 50% to the left. I want my main melody here to the right. My piano. Let me hear. I'm closing my eyes as well with the panning. Alright, so that's about good. Now, of course, all the percussion instruments and the bass right down the middle. Let me go here to the verse with the chords. Turn this down. Nah, keep it up. Alright. Alright, so that's it for the volume adjustments, the fader adjustments, and the panning. Let's move on to the next step.